All right, welcome to the upcoming Prep Baseball Report Showcase. I am Steve Nielsen, scouting supervisor for Prep Baseball Report Illinois and Wisconsin.
And I'm Drew Locascio, the Illinois Scouting Director.
And we are here today to give you a little insight to what the showcase will look like, what we do as a company, why you're here, and hopefully we can help provide some insight to make your transition to the next level a little bit easier. First off, a little bit about Prep Baseball Report. If you haven't been to a PBR event before, or this is your first time kind of interacting with us and our staff and our website, PBR has been around since 2005 is when it started. And it started in Illinois basically as a print magazine, which went out to college coaches across the country, which they used in turn to recruit players throughout the state. Since then, over the last decade plus here, it has turned into a nationwide company with a really robust website that I think provides one of the best searching platforms for college coaches, pro scouts, anybody looking to move their baseball career to the next level. What we do as a company, we run showcases like this one, okay, across the country, where there's staffs like myself and Drew who evaluate players throughout their states. We run tournaments across the country, all with the goal to shine a better light on you as the amateur baseball player. So a couple of things that we do with our website is ranking high school players, ranking teams throughout the high school season, providing daily content through our websites. All of that done through a number of avenues. Like I said, from our showcases, tournaments, both Drew and I and the rest of our scouting staffs are out all spring looking for players and the gains that you might have made over the off seasons. We take all of that into consideration when ranking players, right? The performances that we see in game, what you do at showcase, how you might project your position profiles, athleticism, all of that plays a role in how we go about evaluating players, which we will do at the event today. We've also moved on to a lot of new technology that's involved into the game. This is going to be our first year implementing several new technology pieces to our showcase. Some of you may be familiar with the names like TrackMan, Blast, Visual Edge, all three companies that are leaders in their industry as far as analytics go in the baseball world. With TrackMan, we'll be able to track all of your spin rates. Pitchers will be able to track all your spin rates, spin efficiencies, how your pitch profiles compare. Hitting wise, we'll be able to get things like launch angle, exit velocity, spin rate off of bat, just a ton of data that you as the player will get to access. Blast is very similar to where you'll get all of the data that goes into your swing, basically pre-contact. Okay, so how you set up, how your swing plane works, how well you stay connected throughout the swing, this bat speed, several factors in there. Also, again, what you'll be able to deliverable that you'll get after the event. But all in all, our goal as a company, guys, is just to try to make it easier for you to be recognized by somebody at the next level and make that bridge easier for you to cross to the next level. So a little bit, and I'll get into a little bit more here on basically why you're here, and I'll let Drew kind of take over from there. But assuming that all of you that attending today's event are here because you do have aspirations to play at the next level. That being said, recruiting is a very subjective world in a lot of ways, but you can only control what you can control. Okay, there's going to be a lot of things that go into the game that you aren't going to be able to control. An umpire, strike zone, yada yada. A lot of factors in the game of baseball that are out of your control. I'm going to let Drew take it from here and talk to you about three areas that we like to focus on that you have complete control over, and will probably play, I like to think of it playing at least half, if not more, of a role in your ability to get recruited at the next level.
Thanks, Steve. So this is something that as a company we feel is extremely important to, pass on to you guys that will hopefully help you over the next couple of years in high school and whenever the recruiting process really does heat up for you. Like Steve said, there's 3 areas, and they're all things that you can control, and they're all things that will put you in a better position to be recruited when that time comes. And, the first one is just how you comport yourself and the way you look and the way you wear your baseball uniform. And it starts from the time that you walk up to the showcase. If it's at a game, it's the time you walk up to the game, the way you stretch down the line, the way you go about your business playing catch, basically, the pride that you take in the game of baseball and in your craft. And, any coach that's good at what they do, any recruiter is going to get to the game early because they want to see that stuff. They want to get a first impression on you. That's what this world is. It's a superficial world, and you guys are watching this, this video here, and you're probably making impressions, about myself and about Steve. And college coaches do the same thing. When you walk up to the field, they want to look at, do you have your shirt tucked in? Are you wearing your hat the right way? Are you the one carrying your bag up to the field, or is it your parents bringing your, rolling the bag up, and you're just strolling ahead with your headphones in, with your hat on backwards, whatever it may be. But like I said, then how you stretch, how you warm up, how you take pregame. A college coach may go to a high school game. They may go to a summer game. And if you're a position player, you may not get a single ball in that game. And, the actions and the energy and how you take pregame infield and how you take, in between innings is going to tell them a lot if they don't ever get to see you take a live ball. Steve, anything on that maybe I'm missing?
Yeah, no, you hit a lot of good points there. And Drew and myself have both done this on the recruiting side. Drew coached at a couple different Division I colleges. I coached some junior college baseball in Texas. And we can both tell you, we both were there showing up an hour before first pitch because a lot of times we might get more information on you in that hour before first pitch than we do in the next 2 hours after first pitch. Okay, because you could go a whole game without getting a pitch to hit. You might never get a ball hit to you. But if I'm there an hour before and I watch you get off the bus, I watch how you interact with your teammates, I watch how you stretch down the line, how you play catch, as Drew mentioned. You're a position player. Are you, infielder playing catch with quick hands? Or if you're an outfielder, are you working on long hops? Things like that. And just how you prepare to play the game is going to say a lot about you as a player. And as a college recruiter, and Drew can piggyback on this, but your character, what you say about yourself and how you interact with your teammates and your character is going to go a long way at the next level. Because when you get to that next level, there's a lot of adjustments that need to be made, not only just in your life, but in the game of baseball. Okay, the game speeds up, you're away from home, several factors come into play. And if you're a guy that can handle those adjustments, chances are you're going to get better at the next level. And that's somebody that as a college coach is going to want to recruit, in my opinion. Yeah.
And on top of that point, one of the things that college coaches actually want to see is how you handle failure. Because in high school, the level you're at right now, you're probably, if you're a hitter, you're maybe, if you're a good hitter, you're maybe, getting a hit 4 out of every 10 at bats. So you're still failing 6 out of the 10 times. And, as you progress in this game, you're only going to fail more. And college coaches want to see, how you handle that. If you get rung up on a pitch that's way off the outer half or above your head, do you show up the umpire or, and go back to the dugout and slam your helmet and throw your bat and yell a cuss word and feel sorry for yourself and cause a scene? Or do you go back to the dugout, realize that, hey, umpires in general aren't that good. I understand it. It sucks. It was a big situation that maybe it happened in, but I'm going to learn from it. And I'm going to tell the guy on deck, like, hey, that pitch was 6 inches off the outer half. I guess that's what he's calling today. And, next time you're at the plate, are you going to fight that pitch off with 2 strikes? And they want to see, okay, you struck out or you popped up to end the inning. Are you going to mope and go out to your position in between innings, walking out there? Or are you going to take an infield ground ball, be all ticked off, and throw the ball over the first baseman's head, and then it takes 5 minutes for them to track it down and nobody else gets ground balls? And they want to see all that. They're looking, college coaches are looking for separators. They are recruiting hundreds of players across, Illinois, the Midwest, the country, and they are looking for easy ways to either circle guys to recruit or cross guys off their list. And one of the easiest ways is just how you go about your business, the energy that you play with, what kind of teammate you are, how you handle failure. All that stuff really, really plays a role. Steve, I don't know if I missed anything there,
no,
if there's anything to add on.
And, you mentioned circling or crossing guys off their list. And I will tell you, from the hundreds and thousands of names that go through a coach's scout packs and whatever they have, it's a lot easier to get crossed off than it is to get circled. So point being, don't do anything to cross yourself off.
Yeah.
You can control that.
Yeah. And I think that leads us to the next point. And it's in the game of baseball, it's probably the most important factor to give yourself the best chance to be recruited by all different levels, by all the different coaches out there, and that's your academics. Steve mentioned scout packs, and at every event that we run, we have a scout pack. Any college coach that comes to our event, tournament, showcase, whatever it may be, they're going to grab a scout pack. And that's another reason why they probably get there early for a showcase, is they're going to go through that scout pack, and we put grades on every single scout pack that we have. And every school can do something for you academically, whether it's a certain GPA or an ACT. So each school, they have certain standards that they're looking for players to hit, and they're going to go through that scout pack, and they are going to circle the guys that meet those standards, or they're going to cross those guys off that don't, because they don't want to waste their time recruiting a guy that they can't potentially give academic money to, or just in general get them into their school. So, I mean, that's probably the easiest cross off, is just having bad grades for certain schools. It's an automatic cross off because you can't even get into that school. Steve, on top of that, I mean, do you have anything that you want to hit on with that?
I mean, your grades, your grades are probably going to be one of the single most important factors for financial aid at the next level. You guys may not realize it right now. I know your parents do if they're watching this. College is extremely expensive, okay? And unfortunately, baseball is not a fully funded sport at the next level. It's not football, it's not basketball, and who knows what it's going to be now going forward. But baseball gets 11.7 scholarships, and this is at the Division I level. So what you would classify, I guess, as the top of college baseball, okay? They get 11.7 scholarships for a 35-man roster. 27 of those guys can be on that 11.7 scholarships. So you got your 8 walk-ons. You guys can all do that math. 11.7 scholarships for 27 players. Nobody's getting full rides. It's just not happening. Unless you're a lefty throwing 92, 94, yeah, you might get a lot more than somebody else, but in that case, you may not go to school. So, there's a lot that goes into that. But if you got your grades in order, okay, and you are fortunate enough to receive an athletic scholarship because you're good enough at that level, and you have your grades in order, so they can do things like, potentially waiving out-of-state tuitions or room and board, books, whatever it is, to where they can now put a package together for you that's maybe 80%, 85%. Because a good athletic aid is 30%, 30, 35%. That's a good offer. Athletic. Yeah. Now you combine academics with that, maybe another 50% in a lot of cases, 60% even. You're talking about a lot of money there, and that's a huge thank you guys give back to your parents for allowing you to do these things like this, okay, coming to these showcases, going all over the country, playing tournaments and whatnot. So bottom line, man, keep your grades in order. And Drew can tell you, it says a lot about your character, like what we mentioned in our first point.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mentioned this as well, is they're looking for the separators. So, if they're recruiting two guys that are very, very similar athletically, and one of them does, hit that echelon of the grades that they're looking for, or the test scores, or whatever it may be, where they can get that academic money, they're going to recruit the guy that they can package the athletic money, the academic money, over, somebody that they're going to have to offer more athletically, which comes out of their baseball scholarship. And Steve mentioned it. It does say a lot about your character if you have good grades in high school. Most of you guys are probably playing, high school baseball, summer baseball, maybe doing, lessons on top of that, hitting the weight room, maybe playing multiple sports. So, there's a lot of time management that goes into high school baseball, and it only gets, or high school academics, and it only gets that much harder when you get to college. So it tells the college coach, like, hey, this guy's busy in high school right now. He's at least taking care of his business now. So I can trust him a little bit more, if I recruit him to do the same thing in college as somebody that's not even showing it in high school.
Yeah, it's only tougher, like Drew said. You go on those week-long road trips, 10-day road trips, whatnot, in the early part of the season, and you got to keep your grades in order, and it's on you to do that. Coaches don't want to worry about what you're doing in the classroom and keeping you eligible. That's all on you. Again, another thing that you can control.
And the third point's probably the toughest one for anybody, for myself included, Steve, is just being realistic and, having the correct expectations. Knowing your strengths and weaknesses as a player, as a person, myself included, what are things that I need to improve on? And then knowing where your skill sets fit in at the next level. First off, there is good baseball at every level. I played NAIA baseball. I've coached at the junior college level, coached at a couple different Division I's. I've seen all the different levels of baseball, and the best teams at every level, they can flat out play and they can hang. So, don't get so caught up in that Roman numeral that comes after division. Understand what is important to you as a student athlete, with that college that you choose. It should be, you should have a bunch of different, things you're looking for out of that school, whether it's location, size, academics, baseball program success, more so than just that Roman numeral. Because I'll tell you this, it's a lot more fun to play at a smaller school or a lower level where your team is winning 35, 40 games, having a chance to win a conference title, playing a World Series, than it is to play for a Division I that maybe wins 8 games a year and the coach is always on the hot seat. I've seen, some of that stuff on both sides. So, understand what is important to you. And Steve, I'm sure there's a bunch of other things we want to hit on with this.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be realistic with your skill set. As Drew mentioned, there's good baseball at every level. It's your job, okay, to be self-analytical, figure out what your skill set is, compare it to your peers, okay, where you fit in, and then channel your efforts in that direction, okay, at whatever level that might be. And unfortunately, too, with the times now with rosters being a lot more crunched because everybody got another year of eligibility, it's going to be even tougher now. And one of the biggest wastes we probably see in recruiting is time. It's not to burst anybody's bubble, but, the guy that's going into his senior year, right-handed pitcher, you're probably maybe the ace of your staff and you throw 82, 84 and you got a good breaking ball and you win a bunch of games and you're going to SEC holiday camps all winter break. It's not the best use of your time. But that guy that I just described, plays college baseball and plays it at a high level and probably wins at the college level somewhere. Okay. Just not going to be in the SEC, but that's okay. Okay. I mean, it's just about what you want to get out of your college experience. And I will tell you, just from, when you get into life in general, just after college is over and after this whole baseball thing is over, because it's going to end for everybody at some point, being able to put that on a resume one day that you played college sports speaks a lot to your skill set in life. Okay. We talked about time management and all that kind of stuff, leadership qualities. Being able to play this game at the next level is a big feather in your cap when you go forward and you get into the real world. So, just be honest with your abilities, where they fit in, channel your efforts in that direction, because you will start to see more response when you do that from coaches. And the more response you get, the more options you have.
And the more options you have, guys, the better decisions you're going to be able to make, whether it's, what college you attend to just things in life in general. Another thing with being realistic and understanding who you are as a baseball player that, we feel like it's important at a showcase and in a showcase setting is show us what makes you a good baseball player. Good baseball players come in all shapes and sizes. If you are that big 6'4", 220-pound left-handed hitter and you have some juice, show it off in BP. Like, if that's one of your strengths, let it eat and show it off. If you're not that guy and you're more of the 5'8", 150 pounds, you haven't fully matured yet, but you can handle the bat and consistently find the barrel and spray it around the yard, show us that. If you're a line drive guy that potentially profiles at the top of the order, don't try to get caught up in, I want to hit like this 6'4", 220-pound left-handed hitter. No, show us what makes you good. And same goes for an infielder. If you don't have premium arm strength, that doesn't mean you're not a good infielder. If you have really quick feet, soft hands, quick release, accurate arm, can throw from multiple spots, that's what we're looking for as well. So understand what makes you a good player and try to show us that to the best of your ability.
Yep. Good points.
Yeah.
Good points. And I think, just to wrap it up, guys, the one thing, and I think it deserves repeating, like we said from the get-go, you control all three of these aspects, from how you act, how you look on the baseball field, your grades, to your expectations. You control every part of it, which is it's huge. We're going to go out and evaluate you guys today, Drew and I, and we're going to have differing opinions on some of your skill sets. Same is going to happen for college coaches, and you don't have any control over that. Okay, they're going to like what they like, what they think fits in their program, and that's completely out of your control. But controlling how you work on the field, how you look, okay, your grades, your expectations, that's all on you. Okay, nobody else but the guy in the mirror.
Well, good stuff, Steve. If we want to get into, what they can expect post-event.
So after today's event, guys, just a couple things, housekeeping items here to talk about. After today's event, if you do not already have a PBR profile, yours will be live on the site probably within about 48 hours, if not sooner. We'll have, your new picture in there, height, weight, all your basic vitals, all of your stats from today would be in there. Basically, all the basics of your profile will be updated and live and searchable for college coaches. After your profiles are up, in about 3 weeks, roughly 2 to 3 weeks, your videos will be posted. Okay, so everything you did today will be on video. We send that off, we get it edited, uploaded back into your profile. Those will be in there in about 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, we'll notify you via email when that's ready. You'll get a coupon code and some directions of how you can kind of access your video, what you can do with it, and then go from there. About probably a week or two after that, so about 4 weeks, a month total time, your scouting report to be done. Drew and I will go through our notes, collaborate, rewatch videos, and then put together a scouting report on your skill set and what you did that day. Once that's done, we'll roll it out on their website in a week-long kind of analysis of the event, ranking some of the top players by position, and then put that in your profile. Once that's done, basically everything from today is done, and your profile is complete.
Biggest thing, guys, is just be patient with us with those timelines that Steve, outlined there. Is there are times where we maybe run 2-3 events, back to back to back, where maybe your profile isn't ready for a couple days. Just be patient. We'll get it in there, and we'll go from there.
I think the other item of note there too is that we do communicate everything via email. Especially even at this time, there's not much activity in our office. Everything via email is going to be the best way to contact us. All of our contact information is on the website, but we will notify you via email when your profile's up, when your video is ready. So make sure you're getting those emails, and if you're not, please contact us.